The NBA playoffs start April 16th, and with the play-in games, there are now 20 teams vying for the NBA championship. The 2022 playoffs give you up to 9 weeks of action, with game number 1 of the NBA Finals not even tipping off until June 2nd. Last year, the NBA playoff package was listed for $249, but we've made it even better this year by lowering the entire 9-week playoff package to $199. While the early bird catches the worm may be a cliche, but it holds true to this incredible offer. The first 99 customers can use the coupon code FIRST99 and save an additional $50 off the playoff package, dropping the price down to $149. That's right, 9 weeks of NBA action for $149. That's under $17 per week. Act fast to use code FIRST99, as only the first 99 customers can use this code.
Welcome, everybody, to WagerTalk Today. I'm Lawrence Presman. That man is Teddy Covers, and we have a jam-packed show today. Teddy, we got Dave Cokin joining us right off the top. Mets, Phillies, Mariners, White Sox, Twins, Dodgers, 3 baseball plays, and Dave's got a big play up for everyone we'll talk about in a sec. Tokyo Brandon, some Japanese baseball and a hockey game. Carolina Hurricanes and the Rangers. Should be a really, really good hockey game. And, of course, Dave Sharapan joining us. NBA play-in games start tonight. Teddy Covers, you are freaking rolling, dude. I mean, if you guys go over and take a look at Teddy Covers' page, something I did not do, you will find a monster run, 69-34. That's sick. 120% ROI since February 25th. Congratulations. How are you? And what did we learn in the wonderful world of sports betting?
Appreciate the kudos, Lawrence. Unfortunately, the thing I learned last night is I'm still sick, man. I'm still exhausted. I fell asleep watching the Rangers Rockies in extra innings. Didn't wake up till the morning. I first got this COVID thing, was it March 21st or March 22nd, the first days with COVID symptoms, and here we are 3 weeks later, and I'm still not 100%, but at least I'm well rested today, Lawrence. Good game, Rangers Rockies in extras yesterday, but didn't keep me awake. Slept all through the night, buddy. So we're still in recovery mode. How about you? What did you learn last night?
Well, I learned today that you're still sick. But I'll tell you something. You look great. I mean, you look completely good. Your color's back. Your eyes aren't puffy. Physically, I'm deeply attracted to you right now. But listen, I'm sorry you're still sick, dude. That just sucks. I mean, it's definitely winding down. As for what I learned last night, man, baseball totals can be frustrating, Teddy. It's always that third or fourth hit, You load the bases, you're on the over, strikeout, pop up, done. It's so interesting because there's no other sport like it where nobody is shooting baskets and it just keeps bouncing off the rim 5 times in a row, and then it's the 6th one that counts. Only baseball, you got to line those hits up in a row to go over the total. And I had the over in the San Diego game last night. Brutal. But on a better note, not related to sports betting, Alex Manoah, baby. Told you guys this dude was a monster. Goes out and hits the Yankees through 6 or 7. Man, I'm excited about the Jays. Speaking of which, Teddy, our baseball machine, Dave Cokin, joining us, and I'm going to ask him about Alex Manoah and the Jays right off the bat, Dave.
Well, his sliders turned out to be better than anybody anticipated when he first got promoted. And it's a swing and miss pitch. And it's listen, if you can master a slider at the big league level and you got decent velocity with your fastball, you're going to be pretty good. It doesn't look like the league is catching up to him. That was a very impressive performance last night. Good win by the Blue Jays. And Manoah looks like the real deal.
Yeah, that is for sure. Guys, Dave Cokin is the $2 Tuesday handicapper at WagerTalk. And Dave, today is your first 5% baseball play of the season. Tell us what's going on. Tell us about that, and then we'll take apart the games that you want to talk about.
Well, I almost never have these in baseball. I had a future last year, and I had one 5% play during the season. They both won.
Wow.
The reason I came up with this one, there's two reasons I moved this to a 5%. One is that I hit another golf future, golf prop over the weekend. I had Scotty Scheffler on the Masters. So, the bottom line profits for 2022 are really good. So if you're playing with house money, which we definitely are right now, you can take a chance. The other is my projection on this pitcher that I'm betting tonight, it's the first 5, is really high. I don't think the market is as high as it should be based on what I've heard from spring training and what I saw with my own eyes, and also the fact that he was under the radar last year and was a lot better than people thought he was. So I think this game fits, and I went out there and made it a 5% play, and the nice part is it's only $2 because I'm the Tuesday $2 handicapper. So, talk about a rare play at a rare price. I think this is it.
Yeah.
I think it's worth $2.
Dave, that beard is pretty heavy today, bro. Wow.
It'll be light in about an hour, because I have to do this show and then the Bet Rivers podcast that I'm doing, and then I'm heading straight to the hairstylist to get it trimmed down because she's got good eyes and I don't. So when I do the baseball show later today, the beard will be much thinner than it is right now.
Okay, Teddy, you're chomping at the bit here.
I'm ready to talk some games with Dave Cokin.
Well,
okay, go. Philadelphia, Phillies, Zach Wheeler against the Mets, McGill, 8.5, -145. Dave, how do we bet this game? So many options available.
Well, there aren't that many options for me because I'm still sides and totals in baseball. I don't get into player props and stuff like that. I don't have time to go through those the way I'd want to. I took the Mets. This is my other play tonight. I made a 3% play of the Mets. Look, Wheeler's a stud. There's no question about that. But he hasn't pitched. Okay, he had the shoulder issue, and he's going to be at a pitch count tonight. He's like 75, 80 pitches max. So that's 3 or 4 innings, unless he's got great stuff. Maybe he goes 5. But he did have the shoulder issue, and I obviously he's good to go. But he might be shaking off a little rust. McGill, kind of like Manoah, is a guy who didn't come up with a lot of fanfare, but he had a very good year last year. And there's a lot of upside here because he has added about 2 miles an hour to his fastball. He's throwing 96, 97 now with the heater. The Mets might have something here in Tyler McGill. This guy, let's just say that later this season, I suspect you're not going to be able to get prices like this on McGill. So I'm taking advantage of it here. Mets blew the game last night, had a 4-0 lead, let it get away. Phillies come back to win 5-4. I think the Mets return the favor tonight. I think McGill offers value here, and I am on the New York Mets side.
So let me ask you this, because it was the Mets bullpen, obviously, last night that was a disaster, turning a 4-0 lead into a 5-4 defeat. Is this a 5-inning bet for you, Dave? Is this a full game bet for you? And explain why you would choose one over the other for this particular match.
I made it a full game bet because it's not like the Phillies have a great bullpen either. Bullpens are unpredictable. But I think McGill's going to be on, if I've handicapped it right, McGill's going to be in the game longer than Wheeler by a good couple of innings. So I'd rather not get cut off at 5 innings if McGill's going to be out there for 7. So in that case, I'll go the full game. I'll take my chances and grab the extra 2 innings and then hope for the best in the 8th and 9th.
Dave Cokin joining us, everyone, at $2 Tuesday over at WagerTalk. Dave's got his first 5% play in baseball this season up. It's only $2. Please make sure to take advantage of that. Dave, Seattle playing the White Sox. Short line, -121 for the White Sox at home. Where are you going in this game?
Well, look, it's a short line because Velasquez is pitching with the White Sox, and he's just not very good. If the White Sox have weaknesses, it's at the end of their rotation because of some injury issues right now. And Velasquez would definitely be the weak point. Brash making his initial start for Seattle, so nobody's seen him. He throws pretty good fastball, mid-90s, can get higher than that. Got a slider, got a curve. The worry on him would be his control, which could be spotty. But I like the idea of backing the first-time starter here and doing so against the weak link in the White Sox rotation. So not a play for me, but a lean on Seattle at the price.
We look at the White Sox right now. They had a real good opening series against Detroit. They hit the ball well in that series. Does that concern you here? And again, when you're dealing with these first-time guys going around the league, they tend to be bet on. Certainly, Brad's a guy that's got a lot of hype attached to him, hence the short price for Minnesota. But does any of that concern you here, Dave?
Yeah, the White Sox offense will concern me if I'm betting against them in any game at any time. It's a really good offense. I can't give you anything beyond that. I mean, the White Sox can hit. There's no question about that. So, they're always capable of putting up a big number, but they're not going to do it every game. And I think maybe Brash has a chance to do well against them.
Dave, Cokin and Dave, Minnesota. Archer versus L.A. Dodgers. Dodgers on the road, minus 130. Well, there are some weak spots on the Dodgers. I'm studying this team because I'm thinking we're going to get them in the World Series. But, hey, that's so many months away from now. It's ridiculous. How do we bet this game?
Well, I don't like Heaney, and he's a guy you probably won't see me bet on Heaney at any point because you'll have to lay a price on him now that he's on the Dodgers, and he's not a go-with pitcher. Chris Archer isn't either, but there are some encouraging signs with Archer at least. He's got his velocity back. He's been throwing it pretty good this spring. I don't know how healthy he's going to stay, but for the time being, maybe Archer can give you a few good starts before he breaks down again. And the Twins' offense is good. I mean, this team can hit the ball out of the park, and I think they'll have a chance to do that against Heaney. So this is maybe a spot where I'd lean Twins getting a price at home. I think they might actually have the better pitcher on the mound here, which won't generally be the case against the Dodgers. A couple of concerns on the Dodgers, by the way. One is Heaney, obviously. The fact he's in the rotation is not a plus. The other is Urias. His velocity's been down all spring, and he got ripped in his first start at Colorado. So not everything going well out of the gate for the LA Dodgers right now.
I mean, the quotes coming out of Dodgerland right now, to me, they felt like there was a sense of urgency for this particular game, which made me look at the Dodgers side here. Dave Roberts talked about the series in Colorado. We didn't play good baseball. We weren't good situationally as far as when we had guys on base to cash runs in. Defensively on the bases, I don't think we played our type of baseball this series. Chris Taylor, obviously we expect to produce. We know we have top to bottom the best lineup in baseball. We didn't show that this weekend. Is there any concern here for you that this is kind of a circle the wagon spot for a Dodgers team off back-to-back losses? And my first lean on this game, Dave, was looking at the over. Did that interest you in this one?
Yeah, the over makes some sense because both lineups are very potent and neither starting pitcher is very reliable. But I saw the number and it's like, you're not getting any bargain on the number. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But the over makes more sense than the under. And as much as the Dodgers are saying those things, they didn't play well, Colorado. I'd rather, once this team gets rolling, they're not a team you're going to want to take a chance against. The time to take a little shot against the Dodgers is probably right now, or they're not playing all that well. I'm glad they're not just reading their press clippings. If it was anybody other than Heaney, I might be on the Dodgers tonight, but I'm not an Andrew Heaney guy, never have been, and he'll have to show me something to change that opinion. He's a number 6 starter on a team that only uses 5.
Dave, Cokin, Dave, as we've spoken about, you got a 5% play up tonight. Jeffrey Moore in the chat room writes, who's the $2 Tuesday handicapper? That be Dave Cokin, everyone. 5% play up tonight in baseball, first one of the year. Make sure to take advantage of that. Anything else, my good friend?
No, that's it. I'm just waiting to get the beard trimmed down, so I'll look pretty for the baseball show.
Dave, I'm thinking you should do, Teddy, can you see it? I'm thinking, the rolly fingers? I'm thinking you should.
Yeah, a little Monopoly Man mustache, yeah.
Yeah, come on, Dave.
No.
Do the Monopoly Man.
I wouldn't know. With my eyes, I'd end up like this or like that.
Dave, you're going to a person who has two good eyes. They can do it for you. Dave Cokin, everyone. Stay with us, guys. Teddy's Big Game Breakdown. We are going to talk Japanese baseball and hockey with Brandon and Teddy. We're going to do a deep dive into the NBA. 2 games tonight with Dave Sharapan. So we will not leave you guys hanging. Plus, of course, 100 likes, daily presidential address. Dan, cue that commercial up.
Baseball is back, and we want to celebrate by slashing the cost of any daily picks packages. That includes a baseball play by 50%, including 5% best bets. This amazing promotion runs from Thursday, April 7th, when 18 of the 30 MLB teams take part in opening day, to midnight on Wednesday, April 13th, and you can get $25 daily packages for $12.50, 29 daily combo packages for $14.50, $35 5% best bets for $17.50, and $39 5% best bet combo package for $19.50. Whether you never bet on MLB or just like discounts, save 50% on baseball picks for the entire first week of the baseball regular season.
It is time for today's big game breakdown, the first MLB big game breakdown of the season. I have not yet put out a play for my clients. This is my first play of the year of any way, shape, or form in MLB action. And my co-host Lauren Prez will be very glad that I'm taking the Toronto Blue Jays at a plus price against the Yankees right now. Look at the WagerTalk live odds screen. I'm seeing the Yankees, let's call them minus 120. In that range, total anywhere 9 or 9.5. It is a split line on the total for tonight. We're going to go side here and look at Toronto. Look, Toronto's owned the Yankees in the Bronx. You know, they swept them last time there. They won again yesterday, 9-2. Their last 11 visits, outscoring the Yankees 28-8, while winning the last 5 against the Bronx Bombers. So Yankees now off back-to-back home losses. They got booed again yesterday. They're hitting 214 as a team, 667 OPS, 13 runs in 4 games. What am I looking for to open the season? I want hot lineups. I want a team that can hit the baseball. Toronto right now, Yankees hitting 214, the Blue Jays hitting 279. Yankees 67 OPS, Blue Jays 843. Yankees scored 13 runs, Blue Jays scored 23 runs. Blue Jays are hitting, and the Yankees aren't. Period. Now, in the matchup, Kikuchi versus Cortez, obviously, there's a lot to like about Cortez. There's a lot to like about Kikuchi as well. You know, he was great early last year. His first 15 starts was fine. The back end of the campaign was not nearly as good. He has a decent track record against the Yankees. More than any other factor, though, I've got a lineup that I want against a lineup that is being priced like a good lineup, but that just isn't hitting right now. In a pitching matchup that's relatively even, yeah, give me the hot team and the dog. That's the Blue Jays. Bet on right now. And I don't want to pay any price for this Yankees home field that isn't worth a whole lot. You know, find plus 10, plus 110s out there on Toronto, and that's the way I would look tonight. There's your big game breakdown, Prez. Back to you, my friend.
Teddy, I like my Kikuchi in the rain. Sopping wet, baby. That's a terrible joke. 3 experts for $5 over at Sports Memo. We do this every Tuesday. 3 experts, $5 this Tuesday. Dr. Chuck, JM Sports, Mikey Sports. You get them all for $5. 3 guys, $5. And, of course, Dave Cokin, $2 Tuesday handicapper over at WagerTalk. Teddy, Tokyo Brandon joining us. I'm excited. This man is a winning machine. Tokyo, we already had somebody in the chat room say they bet all your plays this morning. Hopefully you cashed. How are you, man?
Doing all right. Thanks for having me on. And here's the fun fact. Actually, yesterday I went 6-3 in Asian baseball. I was a 9th inning implosion away from going 7-2. So yeah, it was a good day. And if you bet all my plays, I won my 5%, and I won my 3% best bet from the Asian baseball show. So yeah, it was a good night.
Nice.
Here's a fun fact.
Another one.
Speaking of Kikuchi, he went to the same high school as Shohei Ohtani. And it's called Hanamaki Higashi High School. It's in the northeastern Japan, and I went there and scouted both of them when they were in high school.
Wow.
Fun fact.
We need more, Teddy. Can you get more fun facts out of him? Let's just do a fun fact
give me another
show
fun
with
fact.
Tokyo Brandon.
Let's just say that Ohtani was better than Kikuchi back then as well.
Okay, so before we get into it, Brandon, you first. What do you think the most watched sport in the world is?
I would say in the world or in the US? In the world.
In the world.
Most watched meaning if you're talking about TV,
oh my
viewership,
God, dude,
I'd say it's
the answer is soccer.
Yeah,
the
I'd say
answer is
no
not soccer.
Oh,
the
what
answer is
soccer.
cricket. Cricket.
Shut up.
It's Tokyo Brandon.
That's not true.
We need a cricket guy. Find us a cricket guy, dude.
Dan's doing lacrosse, so that's close.
And nobody does lacrosse. I mean, I know Dan does lacrosse.
Cricket. How can you possibly say that cricket is bigger than soccer worldwide?
Let's get on the info.
Because that was the TikTok. Brandon,
thanks for putting
stay out of this.
Thanks for putting me on after Dave, by the way. It's like following Justin Bieber or BTS or something. It's like, oh, here's Brandon after Dave. So
yeah, I don't think a lot of Indians and Pakistanis spend a lot of time watching soccer. But anyway, Brandon, we need a cricket guy. Let's go. Japanese baseball, Hiroshima Carp versus the Swallows. I always am cheering for the Swallows.
Yes.
Always, flat out. What do we do here?
I know. Swallows is actually a bird, by the way, so it's not an X-rated movie. So Hiroshima Carp and the Swallows. Swallows are the defending champion. They have a killer lineup, but the Carp are starting a pitcher named Tokoda today, and he has dominated the Yakult Swallows throughout his career, and the Hiroshima Carp are actually hitting better. Seiya Suzuki actually went to the Cubs, and he's playing for the Cubs now. He used to play for the Carp, and so after losing him, I thought their lineup would go down, but they're actually hitting better this year without him. So I'm going with Hiroshima Carp on the money line. This just came out about 20 minutes ago on Pinnacle at -105. So grab Hiroshima Carp on the money line for a small 2 or 3% play.
Let's talk a little NHL, the Carolina Hurricanes and the New York Rangers. You're interested in some first period action in this one. Talk to me about the Hurricanes and the Rangers tonight in NHL.
Yeah, the goalies have not been announced yet, but it looks like it's going to be Anderson and Igor Shesterkin. Both of these guys are playing out of their mind. They're allowing just a hair over 2 goals per game each, which in the NHL, that's pretty incredible. The Rangers in their last 3 games have allowed 2 goals total. And the Hurricanes have allowed 2, 2, and 3 in their last 3. So I like the first period to go under 1.5 here, and the odds are fairly nice. It's a pretty nice price for the Hurricanes Rangers first period under 1.5. So that's where I'm going with that. And I released that to clients about an hour or so ago.
Yeah, I mean, Tokyo, it makes sense. I like the under in the whole game as well. Man, I think
it was 5.5 though.
Yeah, I know, but this game's got, if these guys go to the play against each other in the playoffs, which could happen in the second round, I mean, you're looking at 3-2 every game. So,
but
third. Yep.
Sorry to cut you off. Third periods are usually the highest scoring because there's empty nets, etc. And first period 2 goals. If you multiply 2 by 3, that would be 6. So I think there's more value on betting the first period under 1.5 rather than the whole game. even the whole game 6, I think it's better value to bet the first period. But I agree with you that this should be like I think the last game I just checked it was the 2-1 or 2-0 or something like that. So yeah, I agree with you.
Guys, Tokyo Brandon, one of the best handicappers we have across all sports, period. End of story over at WagerTalk. Offhand, I think you were number 1 last year in profit made. This year, I know you are. How much?
265% plus last year.
200 and dude, you just gave a 97-year-old Warren Buffett would. Oh my God. This year you're number
for the
3.
Swallows.
Yeah. Well, look at all the puns. Maybe get himself a little bit of some Kikuchi. Anyway, Teddy's dying here.
Teddy, not amused.
You are number 3 this year in total profit. And Teddy, I'm telling you, Teddy, Tokyo Brandon is number 3 in profit this year. So there are 2 guys ahead of him. I'll give you even odds that Tokyo Brandon ends number 1 at the end of 2022.
Yes. I'll take
that. Cokin keeps hitting golf
I know.
Futures. What's he hit, 3 of them?
Yeah.
But hard to move up the leaderboard when a guy's cashing 50 to 1s every week.
You're right.
Every week.
You're right.
Yeah, and also I know who's number 1, and he just came off an 18-0 winning streak. So
yeah, Andrew McGinnis.
Exactly.
Yeah, Andrew's doing so good. Yeah. So good.
He is. But I am too. So
yeah, damn right you are, dude.
I'm plus 79 this year so far, so I'm not quite on my 265 pace of last year, but I'll get there because in Japanese baseball and Korean baseball combined, I'm winning 68% so far. And as we all know, as long-term sports bettors, that's not sustainable in over a long term, but it's a very nice start. And if I can hit 58, 59, 60% over the year, yeah, maybe I could usurp my number 1 position one more time. We'll see. Even odds might be rough.
We're getting you out of here. Enough. Dave Sharapan waiting in the wings. Tokyo Brandon will be with us every second week moving forward. We absolutely love having him. If you aren't playing a month to a year of Tokyo Brandon's all sports plays, I don't even know why you're listening to this show. Teddy covers. Oh, man, I missed you last Tuesday when Dave Sharapan came on. The segment, it's not the same without you, dude.
No, nothing's the same without me, Prez. You know that.
Yeah, sometimes things are better, though, without you, Teddy. No Dave Cokin yet, so let's talk basketball tonight. Firstly, do you like these play-in games?
Yeah, I like anytime there's a game that I have an opportunity to bet on, I'm glad it exists.
Yeah.
Okay. So to say, do I like the playing game? Sure. It adds something to the end of the regular season. Yeah. It does. It gives crappy teams a chance to play a couple more games and gives us a chance to bet against them a couple more times, perhaps. Sure. So I have no issues with it. And I like the fact that the regular season ends on Sunday, and then you kind of have this week where the playoffs get determined and the games start on Saturday. So overall, I'll give it a thumbs up. I have no, and of course I won last year with the play-in game stuff. So we'll see if we can do it again this year. So I have I don't have any complaints of it on a theoretical level or on a practical level. It's all good.
Guys, we need 20 more likes for the daily presidential address. Dave Sharapan wearing the throwback Danny Ainge baseball cap and shirt. Do you remember that Danny Ainge played for the Blue Jays? I bet you a lot of people do not know that Danny Ainge was a third baseman for the Blue Jays.
I don't know. That would have been low on the list of people that would be referenced wearing Blue Jay stuff. I got to be honest. But you always zig when everybody else is zagging. I mean, I come in full regalia. You said I never wear any Canada stuff. I was going to come on and start singing "Oh Canada," which is still the best, thing.
What?
Okay, I won't.
That is not.
I don't want any drama.
We've had this conversation before. No.
What?
No. Teddy,
I just
get
looked up
some
Danny
NBA
Ainge's career
info.
numbers. Danny Ainge's
What?
career numbers for the Blue Jays. He played there from 79 to 81. 2 home runs, 220 batting average, 37 RBIs. He played second base, third base, and center field. Didn't last
Played a
long
little outfield too.
in the pros.
Oh,
I did not know that. But Dave, let's get into the 2 games for tonight in NBA action. I know that you're not an NBA guy, but you are a guy with your pulse on the sports betting world, or with your finger on the pulse of the sports betting world here in Las Vegas. So looking at the 2 NBA games tonight, the Cavs and the Nets. If you don't know already, the Nets are 2-21, I believe, ATS, their last 23
I've heard this.
as home favorites. They've been miserable in this role.
Yep.
However, one of the 2 came against Cleveland this past weekend, and they slapped them around in that game. It wasn't close. The Cavs made a run in the fourth quarter, and the Nets are like, yeah, bye-bye. What kind of action are you seeing, Brooklyn, Cleveland? What are you hearing around town here in Las Vegas about this game, side and total? 9.5, 227. The Nets and the Cavs in play-in game action tonight.
So, first of all, Theodore, great to see you. Missed you last week. We had no drama last week with Vino stepping in for you, so that was good. Second of all, I am an NBA guy. Are you out of your mind? I had to sit and book this stuff for 3 years exclusively because no one else in the room wanted to touch it. So I actually enjoy the NBA. It's hard to bet and it's hard to book and it's hard to win, but there are winners all over. And apparently Brooklyn is a winner. Like they already played that. That's up to 9.5 in places. I mean, initial number was 8.5. It's on the move. Everything you hear is that this is just a precursor to a Brooklyn run in the NBA championship mission that they have from the 7th spot. It sounds like they're going to have to go to Boston next. People are already talking about, they're going to be favored against the Celtics in the series. Celtics are the 2 seed and have been arguably the best team in basketball since the All-Star break. None of that matters. Brooklyn shows up. They roll the ball out. KD and Kyrie take them to the promised land. The other game is interesting. I think there's been a lot of two-way action on the Clippers-Minnesota game. It's been sitting 3 pretty much, but little bounce between 3.5 and 3. But for the most part, the over in that game is probably the play. Minnesota games go over. The Clippers can kind of, play either way if they have to. But if it sounds like from everything that I'm hearing that the over is the play in that one. Side is tough. I mean, I'm leaning Clippers myself, but again, we'll wait and see as it goes. And listen, I hope Cleveland gets in. I think it would be fun. Everybody's still coming off the fact that they had tickets on the Lakers to win the NBA championship, and they didn't even make the play-in. So it's been a hell of a ride in the NBA. I'm glad the regular season's over. That circus music came on for me over the weekend, and I was like, I'm not even looking at this. I don't know. They're still determining playoff position, but trying to bet it over the weekend, if you were trying to do that, man, I give you credit because that was tough.
So I want to ask you this, Dave, because you're like, if you were going to list the sports that, if I'm going to go, okay, Dave Sharapan's favorite sports or his best expert sports, NBA is not going to be in your top 3. Dude, baseball is going to be there. NHL is going to be there. NFL or college football is going to be there. You're really telling me that NBA is one of in your, I'm not saying it's not in your wheelhouse, but this isn't a sport you love in the way you do others, is it?
I actually do. I mean, the playoffs especially. Like, it's a different game now, right? And having to work the shifts that I've worked in a book in the past, no one wanted to touch the NBA. So I had to really, I volunteered. Literally, when the first day in the risk room, we were trying to determine who was doing what. And somebody said, well, who wants to watch the NBA? And everybody crawled under the desk. I mean, everybody looked like they were taking cover. And I was like, I'll do it. So I had to I've always loved basketball. And I think because growing up in Pittsburgh, we didn't have a team. So I was able to be a fan of the sport. I kind of inherited the Sixers back in the day in the early 80s. I wanted them to beat the Celtics, and they couldn't. Then I wanted the Celtics to beat the Lakers. And then I moved out west and had to be in the book for 20 years rooting against the Lakers every night. So it's been a lot of fun. So, yeah, I mean, for me personally, everybody loves football, so I don't even put that on the list. I mean, everybody does football. You don't need to be a genius to do football. Everybody already knows everything about football. So I would say, yeah, I love baseball. I love the day-to-day of it. Hockey is the same thing. I love the day-to-day sports. I would put basketball third, pro basketball. I love watching college basketball. I still think that market, if you can go in that market and really, hone your skills, I think you can actually really do well in college basketball. But there's too many teams for me. There's just too many teams.
Dave, let's move to tomorrow's. Just really quick in NBA, I want to make mention for me. I think NBA provides the best in-game betting options. Period. The runs,
not even close.
that's what Teddy agrees with me. Teddy, it's the
100%.
runs. I mean, I took Phoenix was down by 19-20 a few days ago. They were plus 7.5 in game going into the half. I took it. I cashed. You really don't think so, Dave? You think there's a better sport for in-game betting?
No, 100%. You're right. You're not listening
Okay.
You're not even listening. Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. I don't want any drama on Flex Tuesday. Please. I don't want any drama. When you say things right, I tell you, you're 100% right. The in-game, wow, look at that arm. You're really doing double work or something. The in-game opportunities for the NBA are totally unique. You don't get these opportunities with the way the game is played, the runs are crazy. And leads are never safe. And nobody leads a game from wire to wire. So, I mean, very rarely it happens before, everybody comes at me. It does happen, but it doesn't happen very often. So, Prez, 100% right, man. In-game betting.
Thanks, buddy.
And I personally have stopped even pre-game anything with the NBA. I just wait for the game to come on.
Yeah,
and,
it makes
and see
sense.
what's happening. Yeah.
Makes sense. Dave, tomorrow, Wednesday, 2 play-in games as well. Atlanta minus 4.5 or Charlotte in massive 236.5. And New Orleans minus 5 against San Antonio. Give us your thoughts on these 2 games and if you've seen or heard any big bets we should know about.
So that Atlanta game's interesting. That number has sat, right? It's 4.5 and it hasn't moved sidewise. I think that's what you call a good number in the business. But man, either team could win that basketball game. That total's absurd, right? 236.5. Game's probably going to go over. This is going to be one of those games where both teams are going to get 120, So this will be the in-game betting dream. You actually just said it. This will be the game. I think you'll be able to do whatever you'd like and take whatever position you want during the game. I think San Antonio is very live to beat New Orleans. As good as New Orleans was down the stretch to get where they're at, you give me 100%. Pop and the Spurs plus 5. I think that's the side. That may end up being a quote-unquote public dog, but I think they can win the game. So you give me 5 in that spot. I think you're going to see a move there on the under in that game. I see, some 228s, and they're probably going to disappear. I think you'll see under, which for a Spurs game is not really the side you probably want to be on, but likely the side that a lot of the bad guys will be on.
Let's talk a little MLB with Dave Sharapan at SportsBKConsig on Twitter, Sportsbook Consigliere. Excellent follow on Twitter. Of course, Dave does shows all over the internet, basically all day long. We're glad to have him each and every Tuesday here on Flex Tuesday on WagerTalk Today. Dave, we're only 4 or 5 days into baseball season. I don't know if there's any big prevailing stories that the betting markets. Are there any big betting stories in baseball yet? Give us your thoughts on the first week of the season and give us any actionable information that you've seen for MLB on Tuesday.
Well, I came representing today Canada, and Canada has this team in the Toronto Blue Jays that apparently they're going to not only win the AL East, they're going to win the American League, and they might win the World Series. They might win the whole thing. That's what everybody keeps telling me. They're the betting favorite. And boy, are they fun to watch. My takeaway so far is that no lead is safe in baseball. The Blue Jays had 2 games on Friday and Sunday. They trailed 7-0. I personally took them plus 5.5 runs when they were down 7-0. They not only covered that, they came back and won the game and covered the run line 10-8 on Friday. Then on Sunday, they go up 6-0 and let the Texas Rangers, who are arguably one of the worst teams in baseball, a great lineup and a great team, to bet team totals over and a lot of their games over because they hit, but man, they give up runs. They score 12 runs and beat the Blue Jays 12-6. So prevailing themes is cautiously just dive into this. You're picking sides. You got to find the good pitchers. Yesterday, Manoah, my goodness, if Manoah pitches anywhere close to this for the Blue Jays, it's going to be hard to argue that they're not going to win that division. That team's got it all. They got great defense. If they get back end starting rotation pitching, Kikuchi today, they're dogs again. Cortez, baseball is now a bullpen game. Starting pitching has become almost like running backs in the NFL. The value of them is less and less and less. So don't get caught up. I would caution people to get caught up in, this starter's going. Starter's going probably 5 innings. Nobody goes deep into games anymore, especially with a shortened spring training. So maybe bet first fives a little bit more than games right now. And don't get caught up too much in that no run, yes run in the first inning. I know a lot of popular – it's becoming a very popular bet amongst the gambling Twitter crowd. Those are coin flips more than anything.
Yeah. Dave Sharapan, who's the closer for the Jays?
I don't know his name.
Isn't that amazing? Just set the franchise record. 27 close in a row. Jordan Romano.
Did you just say it out loud? What's his last name?
Jordan Romano.
Romano. That's right.
And nobody knows this guy. And he just beat Tom Hankey, David Ward. Legit closers, 27 in a row. Teddy's like, shut up, Prez.
I didn't know.
I'm impressed with his hair.
Guys you're referencing from back in the day. Dave Sharapan. Anything you want to promote before we let you go, my friend?
Well, are we going to mention hockey at all, or are we got to get out of here?
You got 1 minute. Do what you want.
Toronto Blue Jays are minus 450 favorites today against the Buffalo Sabres. The Toronto Maple Leafs. Did I say Blue Jays? I meant Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
The Maple Leafs are unbelievable, Prez. I came on to represent them as well.
Yeah, they can't beat the Sabres.
Problem with the Sabres. Puck line Sabres today. You know it. I know it. Be careful about that one. Carolina and the Rangers is a playoff game today. Somehow Carolina is favored at the Rangers. Keep an eye on the Rangers and the under in that one. And then, New Jersey and Arizona, they can't make the total high enough late. Over in that game. Vegas and Vancouver. Vancouver's playing good. I don't know how Vegas is favored. I like the Canucks there. The shows are Bostonian versus the book, cash considerations. We started the MLB network this week, and that's it, man. Sports beat cake and sig. Thanks, boys.
Awesome stuff, Dave Sharapan. Get out of here. We got over 100 likes. Cue it up, baby. All right. Just really quick, I got 3 NHL plays I'm betting tonight. 2 of them are dogs. Before we get into that, I'm on a big run in hockey, guys. 9-3, 26-9. I got a regulation bet up tonight for my clients. I also have one baseball bet and an NBA bet. You can get it all over at WagerTalk.com. As for your free NHL bets tonight, I'm going Minnesota playing Edmonton tonight. I like Minnesota here, guys. Look, I think if these teams play 7 games, I think Edmonton might get through in game 7. I think this is a bad spot for Edmonton and a good spot for the Wild. Take Minnesota minus 130. Dave Sharapan was on the show today. Check him out at WagerTalk Today on our YouTube channel. He made mention of the Vancouver-Vegas game. My attitude, honestly, here is Vancouver is the play. Plus 120 in this spot. I like Vancouver tonight. Not only that, but throw a little bit on Vancouver in regulation and get it almost all the way to plus 200. I think this Vegas Golden Knights team is not nearly as good as they have been in the past. Their heart and soul, Mark Stone, still sitting on the sidelines. I think they miss out on the playoffs. Vancouver's making a massive run. This is a do or die game for the Canucks. I'm taking them at plus 120. And then we've got the mean, mighty Tampa Bay Lightning going into Dallas. Tampa Bay ain't so mean and mighty to me right now. I think they're beatable. I think this team is tired. They've won 2 Stanley Cups in a row. They've been playing pretty close to 6 months more hockey than any other team in the league over the last 2.5 years. This team is pooped. I'm taking Dallas at plus 125. It's 12:45. Shawarma awaits. Teddy covers. Take us home.
Sure, that's going to wrap it for the Tuesday edition of Wager Talk Today. We'll do it again tomorrow. Same time, same channel, 9 a.m. here on the left coast, noon for you back east. I want to thank all 3 guests today. Dave Sharapan, who always brings it. Dave Cokin, who always brings it. And Brandon Seifton, Tokyo Brandon, who also always brings it. Really appreciate your content, guys, and really appreciate you out there in listener land and viewer land paying attention to us. Thank you. We'll do it again tomorrow. Enjoy the games, and good luck tonight.
The NBA playoffs start April 16th, and with the play-in games, there are now 20 teams vying for the NBA championship. The 2022 playoffs give you up to 9 weeks of action, with game number 1 of the NBA Finals not even tipping off until June 2nd. Last year, the NBA playoff package was listed for $249, but we've made it even better this year by lowering the entire 9-week playoff package to $199. While the early bird catches the worm may be a cliche, but it holds true to this incredible offer. The first 99 customers can use the coupon code FIRST99 and save an additional $50 off the playoff package, dropping the price down to $149. That's right, 9 weeks of NBA action for $149. That's under $17 per week. Act fast to use code FIRST99, as only the first 99 customers can use this code.